Good day everyone, welcome to this video lesson, and today we are going to discuss solving quadratic inequalities. Okay, our ax squared plus bx plus c is not equal to 0, where a, b, and c are elements of real numbers and a should not be equal to 0, represents a quadratic inequality, which can be written as either ax squared plus bx plus c is greater than 0, or ax squared plus bx plus c is less than 0. Okay? You have the rules and the concepts. The following theorems help us to solve a quadratic inequality. So what are these theorems? First is, if the quantity of ax plus b times the quantity of cx plus d is greater than 0, then there are two possible conclusions. First one, ax plus b is greater than 0 and cx plus d is greater than 0. Or, we can reverse the situation. Ax plus b is less than 0 and cx plus d is less than 0. Okay? So, in other words, if the product of two factors is greater than 0 or positive, the factors have same sign. So, para makakuha tayo ng product na positive, dapat ang dalawang numbers na i-multiply natin ay parehong positive o di kaya parehong negative. Okay? So, yun yung case, yun yung theorem 1. Then, second, if the quantity ax plus b times the quantity of cx plus d is less than 0, then there are two possible conclusion. Ax plus b is greater than 0, meaning positive yung ax plus b, and cx plus d is less than 0. Negative naman yung cx plus d. Okay? So, or, if ax plus b is less than 0, then your cx plus d should be greater than 0. That's case theorem number 2. So in other words, if the product of two factors is less than 0 or negative, the factors have opposite signs. So in other words, in order for us to have a negative product, the two numbers or expressions to be multiplied must be in opposite signs. Okay? So, these are the two theorems that will help us in solving quadratic inequality. Okay, let us have example on how to solve quadratic inequality. First, we have find the solution set of x squared minus 6x minus 7 is greater than 0. First, we have to factor the quadratic inequality x squared minus 6x minus 7. So, we'll get the factors of this quadratic expression. So, the factors are x minus 7 times x plus 1 is greater than 0. So, from this statement, the two expression is being multiplied and the result is greater than 0, meaning positive. So, it shows that to have a positive product, the two factors have same sign. So, maaari parehas silang positive o di kaya parehas silang negative. So, we'll make two possible conclusion. Case number 1, if x minus 7 is greater than 0 and x plus 1 is greater than 0. Or, case number 2, x minus 7 is less than 0 and x plus 1 is less than 0. So, dito sa case number 1, we presume that the two factors are both positive, and in case number 2, both factors are negative. Okay? So, let us verify first case number 1. Okay? So, we have to solve this inequality, x minus 7 is greater than 0, and x plus 1 is greater than 0. So if we solve, we'll come up with x is greater than 7. So we transpose this to the right side, so positive 7. And x is greater than negative 1. So we transpose this positive 1 to the right side, so it becomes negative 1. Then we have the conjunction n, meaning we have to get their common elements. So between x greater than 7 and x is greater than negative 1. We can easily identify the solution or their intersection if we are going to graph the two inequalities. Okay, so their intersection will serve as the solution set of the given inequality. Okay, to graph x is greater than 7, so we have to locate first 7. So let's say this is a 7 and 7 is not included, so we have open circle. So when you say greater than 7, x is greater than 7, so the graph is going to the right. So this one. So this is the graph of x is greater than 7. So we'll graph x is greater than negative 1. So let us locate negative 1 on the number line. So let's say this is negative 1. Negative 1 is not included, so we have open circle. Then that is going to the right. So as you look at the two graphs, it coincides. Their common intersection or their common elements is immediately after 7. So meaning all numbers after 7 are solution set of the given inequality. So we can write that x is greater than 7. So we describe those numbers as x is greater than 7. So 7 is not included. If we write this in interval notation, we have open parenthesis 7 comma to positive infinity. So that is the interval notation. So these are the solution set. So what are those numbers? Examples of those numbers greater than 7, you have 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, and so on and so forth. So there are infinite numbers. So that's the answer under case number 1. So how about case number 2? Kung pareha silang negative, so we'll solve also the inequalities. So we have x less than 7, we transpose this negative 7 to the right side, so positive 7. And this one, we transpose positive 1 to the right side, so we have negative 1. Then we have to find also their intersection. So let us graph. So draw a number line graph and let us locate first 7. So we can graph x less than 7. So 7 is not included, so we have open circle. So less than 7, meaning it's going to the left side. So this is the graph of x less than 7. Then for x is less than negative 1, we locate negative 1 in the number line. The negative 1 is not included, so the graph is going to the left. So as you look at the graph intersect, or they have a common elements immediately before negative 1. So meaning, those are the solution set. Yung nasa left side ni negative 1. So those are negative 2, negative 3, negative 4, and so on and so forth. So there are also infinite numbers on the left side of negative 1. So the solution set is x is less than negative 1. So if you write that in interval notation, so you have negative infinity comma negative 1. So we have to combine the two solutions. Case number 1, the solution is x is greater than 7. Then case number 2, x less than negative 1. So to write that, we write first x less than negative 1. Then or, meaning we have to combine x is greater than 7. So let us write first x less than negative 1 because that is in the left side. Then or x is greater than 7. Okay? So, but we have to write our final answer in interval notations. How do you write that in interval notation? So, we have parenthesis negative infinity, comma, negative 1, close parenthesis union, your disjunction or is union. This is the symbol for the union. then open parenthesis 7, comma to positive infinity. So these are the solution set of quadratic inequality. So to verify if those number are really the solution set of the given inequality, so we can select number, yung nasa left side ng negative 1, o sabihin natin, let's say negative 2. So, kung magsasatisfy itong negative 2, so meaning yung numbers na nasa left side ng negative 1 ay tamang sagot. Okay? So, using the equation, so you have negative 2 squared minus 6 times negative 2 minus 7. So, tingnan natin kung magiging greater than 0 siya. Dapat greater than 0 ang result nito, maging positive. So, square of negative 2 is positive 4. Negative 6 times negative 2 is positive 12. Then minus 7. 4 plus 12 is 16 minus 7. 16 minus 7 is 9. So, meaning, true yung statement, positive. So, itong part na ito ay tama. Ito, tama itong negative infinity to negative 1. So, how about dito sa 7 to positive infinity? So, let's say 8. So, kung 8 ang gagamitin natin, 8. So, we have 8 squared minus 6 times 8 minus 7. Dapat, ang maging result nito ay positive para ma-justify natin na yung number greater than 7 ay solution set din. So, square of negative 8 is 64. Then, negative 6 times 8 is negative 48 minus 7. 64 minus 48. So, that is 64 minus 48 is 16. Minus 7. So, that is equal to positive 9 also. So, positive. So, that's correct. Let us have another example. Find the solution set of x squared minus 6x minus 7 is less than 0. So, this time we have less than 0. So, kanina, greater than 0. Okay? So, solution, we have to factor x squared minus 6x minus 7. And the factors are x minus 7 times x plus 1. So, you have less than 0. So, meaning, the product is negative. So, therefore, the two factors must be opposite in sign. So, we must have two possible cases. Case number 1, if we presume that x minus 7 is greater than 0 and x plus 1 is less than 0. So, meaning yung x minus 7 positive, yung x plus 1 is negative. Or, for case number 2, si x minus 7 naman ang siyang negative, si x plus 1 naman ang positive. So, let us verify if these two cases have solution set. So, let's start with case number 1. So, we have to solve the given inequality. So, x minus 7 is greater than 0. So, it will become x is greater than 7. We transpose this to the right side. So, then you have x plus 1 is less than 0. So, it will become x is less than negative 1. So, we are going to get their intersection. So, meaning their common elements. So, we have to graph the two inequalities. So, we'll draw a number line graph. Locate 7. So, you have the 7. So, 7 is not included in the inequality x is greater than 7. So, you have open circle. So, when you see x greater than 7, so that is to the right of 7. So, the graph is 1. So, ang graph ay papunta doon sa right side ng number line. Okay, then the graph of x less than negative 1, locate negative 1 in the number line. So, yan. So, negative 1 is not included. So, 0. Then, when you say x less than negative 1, we say less than. So, it's to the left of the number line. So, we have that graph. So, that's the graph of x less than negative 1. As we look at the two graphs, they have no intersection. They have no common elements. So therefore, the solution set is empty. So that's the symbol for empty. Okay? So walang sagot doon sa case number 1. Wala tayong nakuha sagot dyan kasi wala silang intersection. In case number 2, we verify. So we solve for the inequality. So we have x minus 7 less than 0. So it will become x less than 7. So we transpose this to the right side. Your x plus 1 is greater than 0. So we have x is greater than negative 1. We transpose this positive 1 to the left side. So it's negative 1. And let us find out if they have common elements or they have intersections in a number line graph. So let us graph first x less than 7. So locate 7 on the number line. 7 is not included, so we have open circle. When we see x less than 7, so that's going to the left. Okay, so that's the graph of x less than 7. The graph of x is greater than negative 1. Let us locate first negative 1 in the number line. So then negative 1 is not included, so we have open circle. And when you say x is greater than negative 1, it should be, the graph is going to the right. So as you look at the given, the graph rather, they have common intersection. Yan yung common intersection nila. Nasa pagitan ni, in between negative 1 and 7. So therefore, that is the solution set of the given inequality. So the solution set of the given inequality is in between negative 1 and 7. So you have there. So x is greater than negative 1 but less than 7. So what are those numbers? So those are, some of the numbers are only the integers, o integers lang babanggitin ko. It should be 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. But there are infinite numbers in between them. So yung integers yun yung 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay? So our final answer, if you write this, by the way, if you write x is greater than negative 1 but less than 7, that is open parenthesis negative 1 comma 7 close parenthesis. So our final answer is open parenthesis negative 1 comma 7. So that is the equivalent of x is greater than negative 1 but less than 7. Okay? Let us have another example. Find a solution set of x squared minus 6x minus 7 is less than or equal to 0. Okay? So, same, we have to factor the quadratic expression x squared minus 6x minus 7. So, the factors are x minus 7 times x plus 1 is less than or equal to 0. Okay? So, we have two possible cases kasi less than 0 daw. So, ibig sabihin, the two factors are in opposite signs. So, meaning if x minus 7 is greater than 0, greater than or equal to 0, and x plus 1 is less than or equal to 0. Or in case number 2, we have to reverse the condition. X minus 7 is less than or equal to 0, meaning x minus 7 is negative and x plus 1 is greater than or equal to 0. Yung x plus 1 naman ay positive. So let us first start with case number 1. Let us solve the inequality in case number 1. So we have x is greater than or equal to 7 kasi we transpose this to the right side. Then second, we have x less than or equal to negative 1. We transpose this positive 1 to the right side. Okay? So then to verify if they have common elements or if they intersect at a certain point, we have to sketch the graph of the two equation, inequality rather. So let us graph first x is greater than or equal to 7. Locate 7 in the number line. So this is your positive 7. So positive 7 is included because we have the non-strict inequality. So close circle. Then the graph is going to the right because x is greater than 7. So this is the graph of x greater than or equal to 7. To graph x less than or equal to -1, let us locate first -1 in the number line. So this is your -1. So -1 is included. So we have closed circle. And you have x less than -1. So the graph should be going to the left. As you look at the graph, there are two inequalities has no common elements. There is no intersection. Therefore, the solution set is empty. Or you can write the word empty. So that's the symbol for empty. So let's proceed to case number 2 if they have intersection or if there are solution. Okay. So solve the equation. X is less than or equal to 7 and x is greater than or equal to -1. So to graph, first we have to locate 7 again. So we have 7. Then your 7 is a part of the solution because the given is non-strict inequality. So we have closed circle. So x less than or equal to 7, meaning the graph is going to the side of the left side of 7. Okay, so the graph of x is greater than or equal to -1. So that's -1. Close circle because -1 is included. When I say greater than, meaning it's going to the right. So the two graphs intersect between -1 and 7. So meaning yung -1 is included, positive 7 is included, and all numbers between them. So that's why the solution set of the given inequality is x is greater than or equal to -1, but less than or equal to -7. So meaning that is from -1 to positive 7. So if you write this in interval notation, we have the open bracket -1, comma 7, then the close bracket. So sa case number 1, there's no solution. So in case number 2, this is our solution. So the final answer is open bracket -1 comma 7 close bracket. So what are those numbers? So there are infinite numbers also. But if we wanted to just name the integers from -1, 7, ano ba yun? Yung -1 kasama 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay? But there are other numbers in between those integers. Okay? Let us have another example of quadratic inequality. Find the solution set of -2x squared plus 11x plus 6 less than 0. Okay? So first we have to factor the quadratic expression -2x squared plus 11x plus 6. So what are the factors of this quadratic inequalities? The factors are -2x minus 1 times x minus 6 is less than 0. So less than, the product is less than 0, meaning the two factors are in opposite sign. So we have case number 1. Let us say -2x minus 1 is greater than 0 and x minus 6 is less than 0. So in this case number 1, we presume that -2x minus 1 is positive and x minus 6 naman is negative. Or in case number 2, -2x minus 1 is less than 0 and x minus 6 is greater than 0. Meaning -2x minus 1 is negative and x minus 6 is positive. So let us solve case number 1 to verify the solution set. Okay? So we have x less than 1/2. Okay? Paano ito naging x less than 1/2? Because if we solve this one, okay, you have -2x. So it's greater than. Transpose natin ito to the right side. So it will become +1. Then we have to divide or multiply both sides by -1/2 or divide it by -2. So our divisor or multiplier is negative, so we have to reverse the inequality. From greater than, it will become less than. That's why we come up to x less than 1/2. Okay? So, and the other side, x minus 6 less than 0. So we transpose this negative 6 to the right side. It will become positive 6. Okay? So, then to verify the intersection, we have to graph. So first, we have to graph x less than 1/2. So let's say this is 1/2. So 1/2 is not included. So you have open circle. Less than means going to the left. Then the graph of x less than 6 is 1. We locate positive 6. So 6 is not included. So when you see x is less than 6, meaning the graph is going to the left. So as you look at the graph coincides immediately before 1/2. Okay? 1/2. So meaning the solution set of the given, in case number 1 rather, is x less than 1/2. So if you write that in interval notation, we have negative infinity, comma, up to positive 1/2. So that's the solution set. So what are those numbers? So it could be 0, -1, -2, and so on and so forth. So there are infinite numbers. So how about in case number 2? So we solve. We have negative 2x minus 1 less than 0. So we're going to transpose negative 1 to the right side. Magiging negative 2x less than positive 1. Then we will multiply both sides by negative 1/2. That's why we reverse the inequality. From less than, it becomes greater than. So it becomes x is greater than 1/2. Then x minus 6 is greater than 0. So we transpose negative 6 to the right side. It becomes positive 6. So let's graph again to see if they have intersection or common elements. So graph x greater than 1/2. Let us locate first 1/2. So x greater than 1/2, meaning the word greater than is going to the right side of the number line. So that's the graph of x greater than 1/2. How about the graph of x greater than 6? So let's create positive 6. 6 is not included. So x greater than 6, meaning it's going to the right side. So the graph coincides immediately after positive 6. So therefore, those intersection, those numbers after positive 6 are solution set of the given inequality under case number 2. So the solution set are x is greater than 6. If we write that in interval notation, you have parenthesis 6 to positive infinity. Okay? So we have combined the two solutions. So x is less than 1/2 or x is greater than 6. So our final answer,
open parenthesis, negative infinity, comma, 1/2, close parenthesis, union, open parenthesis, 6, comma, up to positive infinity, close parenthesis.
okay, this time solve the following quadratic inequalities. One is x squared minus 2x minus 3 is less than 0. Second, 3x squared minus 10x minus 8 is greater than or equals to 0. Okay, so that's all for this video lesson. I hope you learned something. Okay, thank you for watching and God bless you all.